Hi, welcome to Transmission Hour, Boston's best music. I'm your host, Tim Casey. For over 30 years now, TMax has been taking the pulse of the Boston music scene through his magazine, The Noise. He's also a talented musician. We're going to be talking to him later on in the show tonight about his music and about his magazine, but for now, let's hear some music from TMax.
This happened once before when I came to your door. No reply. They said it wasn't you, but I saw you peep through your window. I saw the light. I saw the light. And I know that you saw me, 'cause I looked up to see your face. I tried to telephone. They said you were not home. That's a lie. 'Cause I know where you've been. I saw you walk in your door. I nearly died. I nearly died when you walked hand in hand with another man in my place. If I were you, I'd realize that I loved you more than any other guy. And I forgive the lies that I heard before, when you gave me no reply. No reply. No reply. No reply. No reply. No reply. I get are delayed in time. I'm feeling pretty patient, but sometimes climb the walls. I'm always waiting for you to call. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, of them. I'm constantly in purgatory, just want to hear your voice. Tell me you're not 'cause you're in your box, I'm in mine. You didn't come on home. Come on home. You didn't come on home. Do-do-do-do. Oh, you didn't come on home. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Oh, come on Holy moly, this tastes like macaroni, but that's not what you told me. You said it was bologna. Pull down, holy mackerel, Andy, this sure seems like candy, although it's much more sandy. When you're giving me this and that, oh, you're trying to make me fat. All you're doing it just for fun. Oh, you're trying to burn my tongue. Holy moly, this tastes like macaroni, but that's not what you told me. You said it was bologna. Golly gee whiz, I got a pancake stuck in my throat. My system really choking, and my stomach's truly bloated. Holy mackerel, Andy, this sure seems like candy, although it's much more sandy. When you're giving me this and that, oh, you're trying to make me fat. Oh, you're doing it just for fun. Oh, you're trying to burn my tongue. Holy moly, this tastes like macaroni, but that's not what you told me. You said it was bologna. I was 5 and she was 6. We rode on horses made of stick. She wore black and I wore white. She would always win the fight. Bang, bang, she shot me down. I hit the ground. That awful sound. My baby shut me down. Seasons came and changed the time. When I grew up, I called her mine. She would always laugh and say, remember how we used to play? Bang, bang, I shot you down. You hit the ground. That awful sound. I used to shoot you down. Music played and people sang, but for me the church bells rang. Music played, people still sang, but for me the church bells rang. 'Cause how she's gone. I don't know why until this day. Sometimes I cry. She didn't get to say goodbye. She didn't take the time to lie. Bang, bang, she shut me down. I hit the ground. That awful sound. My baby shot me. My baby shot me. My baby shot me. My baby shot me.
Welcome to Transmission Hour with TMax. It's
Thank
good
you,
to
Tim.
finally have you on. You have a new CD out.
That's right, I do. I should probably have that with me right here so I could hand it to you.
Well,
huh? It's 10 feet away.
That's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. We'll have a graphic of it come
Okay,
up like
okay.
this. It's magic, right?
Right.
Okay. So, and it's called Shake, right?
The newest one is called On British TV.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I came out with 2 CDs within 2 months. Not too many people do that.
No, that's
Because
a record.
one was not a CD of songs per se, just
Yeah.
song after song. Shake is actually a story that I play music along with.
Okay.
In the vein of like The Point.
Yeah.
How,
Yeah.
there's a story and then you go into a song kind of thing. And I got this woman, Claire, to talk. She was a woman I heard reading one time, and I said, "Whoa, I love her voice. Will you come into the studio and read this story?" So she did that, Claire Paulson, and
Wow.
then I just edited my songs in between her talking and stuff. So that's like a whole little story. You go through that. That's Shake.
Wow. I didn't realize that. I just thought it was a collection of songs. I'm going to have to get that then.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is
On British TV.
on British TV. And that's where a lot of tonight's songs came from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
A couple of them came from Shake too,
Yeah.
but most of them are from there. Yeah.
When we were in the show, you mentioned that you were from Brooklyn, and how did you get from Brooklyn to Boston, and when did that happen? Really early.
Well, I went from Brooklyn to Long Island, and like right after high school, having to move out from my parents.
Yeah.
A band I was playing in, one of the guys moved up to Martha's Vineyard, and he said, "This place is lovely, man. Come here." So I did that. The whole band, Mr. Timothy Charles Duane, relocated to Martha's Vineyard, became very popular there. I loved it.
Wow.
We, had a big following. We can still do reunion shows and sell them out because we're known on Martha's Vineyard. But living on Martha's Vineyard, you're sort of like, there's this barrier called the ocean that's
Yeah.
all around you. And I kind of didn't like that after a while. I loved being on the vineyard, but I wanted to be someplace where I could explore my music. And it was either going to New York
Yeah.
or Boston. So I started doing weekend trips to each city, and I liked Boston. I like
that's
Boston
nice.
a lot.
Yeah.
And just came there and moved into Jamaica Plain.
Yeah.
Stayed there for 28 years.
Yeah.
friends, Billy and Ruby, otherwise known as Bird Mancini. And read a book. If your mind's on the clock, taking a movie, you ain't got the right to be left in the night. Think up a dream and dream it. Think up a dream and dream it. Think up, dream and dream it. You ain't got the right to be left in the night. You ain't got the right to be left in the night. Think up, dream it. Think up, dream and dream it, dream it, dream it. Think up, dream and dream it. Think up, dream and dream it. Think up, dream and dream it, dream it, dream it. Standing on the seashore, an old sloop sails away. The mainsail slowly dissolves into the distance, out of view. Where has it gone? On a far-off shore at the same time, the sloop is sailing in, entering another viewer's vision. Fade away, fading in. Say goodbye, then begin. Waving from the railway station, the train is headed out. The sound slowly dissolves into the distance, out of view. Where has it gone? Approaching the next train station, the locomotive roars, entering a waiting traveler's vision. Fade away, fading in. Say goodbye, then begin. Shut your eyes, see the morning break. Close the door, open I am passing through a threshold to a place I've never been. On the other side of virgin vision, out of view. Where have you gone? Fade away, fading in. Say goodbye, then begin. Shut your eyes, see the morning break. Close the door, open another door. Fade away, fading in. 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 Fade away, fading in.
You mentioned even in Fly that you worked in a woodworking shop in Jamaica Plain.
That was in my basement.
Oh.
It was actually a back basement in my house that I electrified to be able
Yeah.
to use my tools down there. Wow. That was good. And yeah, I became a little wood artist. And I remember being very involved in making the wood stuff that I would make, little soul houses and stuff, very intricate woodworking. But at the same time, working in a wood shop, even though I would wear a mask,
Yeah.
I would finish my day and I'd blow my nose and I'd look at it and
yeah,
go,
feel
oh
real
my God.
gross.
And then I found myself getting sick
Yeah.
every other week, just having respiratory problem kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I said, I don't want to do this. It's too, unhealthy.
Too unhealthy, yeah.
So stick to music.
So I was going to say, well, speaking of too unhealthy, so then you started the Noise magazine of Boston.
I was doing the noise
at a
at
really
the time.
crazy age.
Yeah, that was interesting because then I had just gotten married at the time and I had a kid and I was playing in a band up to 4 o'clock at night and said, oh, yeah, we should have a little magazine here, right? So I'm doing all this stuff, plus I'm working at Erewhon, the health food store on Newbury Street
God.
back then. And my wife at the time said, you really have to go to a career counselor and figure out what you're doing. And I said, just to please her, I said, oh, sure, I will. And I went there, and it was really interesting. I went to the career counselor, and she just kept repeating things back to me, but it really helped, and it made me realize I want to do the noise for a living.
Yeah.
And she said, well, can you see that you have the business side in you to make this thing make money?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I think I can figure out how to do it. And she really encouraged me to just get on it. And she even got me in touch with another publisher of a magazine. And he talked to me. And the first thing he said to me was, The Noise? He goes, I think you got to change that name because you shouldn't put any negativity there right in the right up front. And I was like, oh, but it's rock and roll, you know.
Yeah.
No, so it's okay with me.
A lot of your songs deal with food. Well, okay, a couple of them at least.
Yes.
But Chop Chop deals with vegetables, and I forget the story, but you worked in a kitchen then?
I worked at the Black Dog. That was on Martha's
Oh, in Martha's
Vineyard.
Vineyard, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it had to do with chopping the vegetables up before the shift began.
Yeah.
And I would just chop, 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 just
That's
get into this
rhythmic.
motion.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm going, chop, chop, chop those vegetables up. And there's another, how do you write the song?
Yeah.
The song was in my head. And if you listen to that song, somebody came up to me after a show one time and said, that song, Chop, 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 it's you play the chorus of the song like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
That's it. And I go, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
sticks
all.
in your
It
head.
has to keep repeating. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's the monotony of chopping for an hour.
Yeah.
So there's no verses or anything. It's just chop, 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 chop. How much can we chop?
Right, and you have to keep paying attention, so you can't think of a bridge or something, because then
Right.
you're going to cut your finger off. you know,
Of course.
so, yeah.
Which, yeah, I have stories about that with the
yeah.
woodworking too.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah, actually, I just thought of that. Most musicians would not go near a power saw.
You really do have to be careful about your hands. I find myself much more careful about little things now, and to think that I used to put it near saws. Oh, you know, I ran it right into a table saw one time, and I could see the kerf of the blade. That's the thickness of the blade.
Yeah.
I could hold my finger up, and the finger went up, down, over, like that. I could just see I went slip right through it, and I went.
Oh.
And it was so funny that when you get a cut like that, you don't feel it. You don't feel the pain immediately.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
next day.
It's the next day. You're like,
oh, it's
man.
throbbing and stuff.
It's time to chop, chop, chop those vegetables up. With a chop, 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 chop. If we chop, chop, chop those vegetables, chop, 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 then we'll chop, 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 chop those vegetables up. It's time to chop, chop, chop those vegetables up. With a chop, 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 chop. If we chop, chop, chop those vegetables, chop, 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 then we'll chop, 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 chop those vegetables, chop, 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 chop those vegetables up. With a chop, 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 chop. If we chop, chop, chop those vegetables, chop, 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 then we'll chop, 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 chop those vegetables up. It's time to chop, chop, chop those vegetables up. With a chop, 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 chop. If we chop, chop, chop those vegetables, chop, 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 then we'll chop, 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 chop those vegetables. Chop, chop, chop those vegetables. Chop, chop, chop those vegetables up. Sometimes I wake up sluggish, open my eyes eventually. Sometimes I just keep dreaming about Tim Casey. Sometimes I just can't get up, I'm too exhausted. But when I smell that dark aroma, my system is elated. Now I don't need no toast or scrambled eggs. It's that dark, creamy liquid that makes me beg. Give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Oh, give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Give me, 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 yeah. Some coffee. Now by midday, I'll start struggling, doing 30 in a 50 zone. My speed dial isn't working, breaking up with my cell phone, 'cause I cannot hear you. You're breaking up, breaking up. Warm noise becomes you. You're breaking up, breaking up. Still I talk while I'm driving. Everybody's honking at me. Either I'm a piss poor driver or a celebrity like Tim Casey. Oh, give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Oh, give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Give me, 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 give me some coffee. Now I pass by 10 Dunkin' Donuts, and 50 cents a cup? Who decided it should be expensive? Who decided it should have foam? Maybe I should just hang a Yui and brew my own at home. So you can hold your latte and your cappuccino. 'Cause all I really need is a cup of joe. Oh, give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Oh, give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Give me, 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 give me some coffee. More caffeine now, give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Oh, give me some coffee, give me some coffee. Give me, 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 some coffee. We got some coffee here. And look, it's in a low-budget records mug. I drink from it every morning. Hot stuff. Can you take that? I think I burned my lip. Oh, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Gonna tie the knot while rolling on the railroad tracks. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clack, clack. Mumbling, you can kiss the bride, the preacher stunk of booze. Okay, he was a hobo we found on the caboose. We knew each other 3 whole days and chose to marry fast. Like steel rails on a journey, we're on the same path. A tunnel coming up, the tunnel of love, sent to us from above. Oh, clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clack, clack. We moved up to the dining car to order up some food. That's when I detected an attitude. I ordered up some veggies. She insisted on cow. I said I don't eat animals. No way, no how. I don't think that she heard me. I don't think she cared. The engine whistle blowing. The warning signs were there. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clack, clack. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. I'm rolling with the bumps on the railroad track. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clack, clack. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. I know this girl loves me. I know I love her back. Oh, clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clack, clack. We moved up to the sleeper car, the wedding dress came off. I oiled up my gears and hopped into the loft. She opened the window, I thought it was for air. She wrapped her arms around me and squeezed me like a bear. She twisted me around and gave me a shove. Out the window I flew, no love from above. Oh, clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clack, clack. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. The girl dumped me on the railroad track. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clack. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Not a shed of clothes on my back. Oh, clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clack. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clickety-clack, clickety-clack.
The noise now, the noise has been going for like 30 years now, maybe a little more.
We're in the 32nd year right now.
32nd year, okay. And you must have, some great things have happened during that time. Some horrible things have happened during that time too, I'm sure. But you put on a lot of big shows.
But yeah, lots of shows. We did Jesus Christ Superstar a bunch of times. Sold it out every time.
Yeah.
And we did it very in a way that was a little different. We had a black female Jesus, and that seemed fine with me. It seemed like, yeah, this is a good statement. The guys who collect the money, the royalties for using the thing, I told them 3 or 4 years into it that we had a black female Jesus, and they said, "You never told us that. You know that you can't do that? You can't change a main character in that way. That's sort of against the rules in terms of using."
You mean in shows in general that
right,
you
in
pay
shows,
royalties
yeah.
for?
If you're paying the royalty for it, you cannot make a major adjustment of
That's
that
different
sort.
than music. That's totally different than
Right.
music. They
Yeah,
have no
totally.
say in the matter.
Right,
with
no
music.
say. You do it how you want it. Which, you know, you hear me do a bunch of covers that I change a lot.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that whole idea, you know, being on your compilation of the Beatles,
the Beatles one, yeah.
compilation. And my song there is just so different from the Beatles' No Reply, that is very up and and I didn't get a reply. And mine is like, I didn't get a reply. And somebody said it like, oh man, you sound a little scary in that one.
Did you end up having to change the casting then in Jesus Christ?
No,
Superstar, or
because
they
it was after it. We
Oh, it had already happened too late.
Yes,
Yeah, it was too late.
I was just talking to the guy over the phone about
Yeah.
it, and we had a different. We had that was when we had Gary Sharon being Jesus, and so it was past the whole idea
past
of
also.
having a black female Jesus.
Nothing he could do about it anyway.
Too late now.
Too late.
Stand, in the end, it'll still be you. One that's done all the things you set out to do. Stand, there's a cross for you to bear. Things to go through if you're going anywhere. Stand for the things you know are right. It's the truth that the truth makes them so uptight. Stand for the things you know are real. You have you to complete, and there is no deal. Stand, 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 stand. Stand, you've been sitting much too long. There's a permanent crease in your right and wrong. Stand, there's a midget standing tall, and a giant beside him about to fall. Stand, 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 stand. Stand, they will try to make you crawl, and they know what you're saying makes sense and all. Stand, don't you know that you are free? Well, at least in your mind, if you want to be. Stand, 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 stand. Stand, 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 Some think that I'm a dancer by the way I spin. I've been spinning around so long, you think that I'd be thin. I'm shaped just like a soccer ball, yeah, I get kicked and bumped. People treating me like a big old garbage dump. I'm gonna shake, boom, boom, boom. Shake, boom, boom, boom. Gonna shake, boom, boom, boom. Shake it all night long, I'm gonna shake, 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 shake it all night long, I'm gonna shake, 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 shake it all night long. They're smogging up my fresh air, there's oil in my sea, heavy metal leaking, remember DDT. wouldn't blow my stack. But dump that waste in my love canal, you know that I'll strike back. I'm gonna shake, shake, I'm gonna shake. Shake it all night long, I'm gonna shake. Shake it, shake, 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 shake it all night long, I'm gonna shake. Shake it, shake, 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 shake it all night long. What can we do? What can we say? We didn't know. What can we do? What can we say? We didn't know. She was shake, 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 shake it all night long. Shake, 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 shake it all night long. I'm gonna shake, 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 shake it all night long. I'm gonna shake, 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 shake it all night long. I'm gonna shake, 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 shake. Is it too late? Oh, Dunderbeck, how could you be so mean to ever have invented the sausage meat machine? Now all the rats and pussycats will never more be seen. They'll all be ground to sausage meat in Dunderbeck's machine. One day a little boy came walking in the store. He bought a pound of sausage links and laid them on the floor. While the kid was waiting, he whistled up a tune. The sausages, they stood, they barked, they danced around the room. Whoa, Dunderbeck, oh Dunderbeck, how could you be so mean to ever have invented the sausage meat machine? Now all the rats and pussycats will never more be seen. They'll all be ground to sausage meat in Dunderbeck's machine. One day the darn thing broke, and it wouldn't seem to go. So Dunderbeck climbed in, the reason for to know. Well, his wife was having a nightmare, she was walking in her sleep. She gave the crank a heck of a yank, and Dunderbeck was me. Whoa, Dunderbeck, oh Dunderbeck, how could you be so mean to ever have invented the sausage meat machine? Now all the rats and pussycats will never more be seen. They'll all be ground to sausage meat in Dunderbeck's machine. They'll all be ground to sausage meat in Dunderbeck's machine. They'll all be ground to sausage meat in Dunderbeck's machine. Oh Dunderbeck, how could you be so mean? My friends' pets, my friends' pets. Morty likes to jump up real high, bangs his teeth into my teeth, it's like a kiss. He's my favorite dog. When I used to cat sit for Cisco, she would sleep next to me. I love that cat. Then she died. As far as golden retrievers go, Maggie is a super gal. She'd knock me over when she say hello. Gammas is not a friendly cat. Pet her on the back and you take the chance of losing your arm. Better beware. My friends' pets, my friends' pets, my friends' pets, my stays in the bathroom all day long. The landlord won't find her there. Ariel, the Bernese Mountain Dog, can freestyle dance and skateboard. Now she's a TV star. Sooty is a black and white guinea pig. His 2 extra teeth remind me that I need my fingers to play my guitar. Licorice is one strange black cat. She climbed 40 feet up into a tree, stayed there for a week, thought she was a bird. Oh, my friend's pets, my friend's pets, come on now, my friend's pets. I can hear you singing, my friend's pets. You're singing at home, right? You're singing, right? Oh, my friend's pets, my friend's pets. I love my friend's pets, my friend's pets. I love my friend's pets. I love my friend's pets. Thank you.
How can people keep up with what you're doing? Where should they go to?
Probably gimmesound.com/TMax. That's I don't have a real my website. I
Yeah.
do it there. I'm actually developing my own website now that will be on the Noise website because I'm fixing up the store there.
Yeah.
So once the store gets fixed up and opens, which it used to be open, but we kind of revamped the whole thing, and now just that's at the final stages right now. And the next project after that is to get my own music website on that site too.
Yeah,
Just put it all in one.
kind of
So-
like a music store where people could download
Right.
individual tracks and stuff.
Right.
Wow. Okay, that's great.
And that's the noise-boston.com.
Is there anything you wanted to cover that we didn't cover?
I'm finding that I'm enjoying my life lately in different ways, taking in different things, going for like these nature walks every Sunday. They have this spirituality involved in them, and I think it's good to get yourself really clear in that way to do music. I'm also enjoying the Patriots. I like watching football. It's funny, some musicians, talk to me,
I know.
and I enjoy that end of it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the Red Sox too, even as bad as they've been. But that all adds to the whole thing of making your whole life whole to be able to get out there
Yeah.
and play the music. And music is just a big part of my life. That won't change, but it's all those things on the edge that help make your music more rounded.
Yeah.
I know one thing I would like to talk about is the noise has changed over the past maybe 3 years, and people are still picking up on the change. And the noise used to be subtitled Rock Around Boston,
Yeah.
and now it's subtitled Music New England. So that changes two things. Once, it shows you that we're looking at New England, not just Boston now. We always did cover New England, but we used to focus really on Boston. Now we're all over New England, and it's also music New England. It's not rock New England. So we're looking at different genres of music more. So the covers of the noise are reflecting a different idea than what they used to, because we used to really aim at the underbelly of the Boston music scene and say, this is what's good down here.
Yeah.
Now, because I'm looking at a New England audience, I want people on the cover who can interest everyone in New England. So the level of the performers who are getting on the cover now are much higher than it used to be.
Yeah.
Putting Peter Wolf on the cover, James Montgomery,
Yeah.
Kate Taylor. In February we'll have John Butcher. So that's what I'm aiming for at this point, to keep it a little more high level. And then you throw in those other bands and acts underneath it, so they're getting the coverage, but you're getting more people picking it up because they're familiar with the larger acts.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, and thanks for being on Transmission Hour.
Sure, my
Good luck
pleasure.
with everything in the future.
Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome. Well, we hope you've enjoyed TMax as much as we have here at BNN. Keep your eyes open for the next Transmission Hour, where we'll bring you more of Boston's best music. Until then, I'm your host, Tim Casey. Thanks for tuning in. Keep watching the skies.
Let me tell you about my sister Peggy, who actually works on a farm. We grew up on that farm. Takes care of animals. You know, she actually starts to try to take care of the jacket when I was a kid. But I don't know, since I'm in Boston, Peggy, she takes out the range. She actually
Slide of my seat in the rain. I still can't remember your name.